Transportation on the nation's highways, roads, and streets is one of the most pressing problems facing highway engineers today. Most important is the immediate need to handle rapidly increasing traffic efficiently and safely. A highway must provide a different kind of service to the traveling public than a local road or a city street. US 30 from Marshalltown to Ogden is a 55-mile section of primary highway in Iowa that needs to be modernized. It is used in presenting the pros and cons of highway relocation and improvement. Starting at the junction of US 30 and Iowa 64 and traveling west, the road narrows to 18 feet from a 22-foot section south of Marshalltown. Narrow, rough pavement makes US 30 east of State Center dangerous to cross-state and local traffic alike. Many impediments to modern, safe, free-flowing travel have caused the road to be classed as critical by Highway Commission sufficiency rating standards. The average motorist not only has to cope with the inadequacies of the road itself, but also encounters slow-moving vehicles which are difficult to pass. Towns along the route may be considered by some motorists as a welcome relief to the day's drive, or by others as an interruption to their planned travel schedules. In either case, they must be particularly watchful for intersecting traffic at commercial entrances, driveways, city streets, and alleys. Some roadside developments provide a necessary service to the motorist, but increase the hazard at every access point to the highway. Traveling from State Center west to Colo, the highway curves north out of State Center. To eliminate features that are not conducive to modern-day safe travel is part of the highway engineer's job and a controlling factor in the overall highway improvement program. The town of Colo is presently located to the south of US 30. Unrestricted access creates a safety hazard. Planned access is provided on new highways in the state and ensures safety to through traffic by locating these services on frontage roads, where necessary approaches and exits to the highway are provided at safe locations. Between Colo and Nevada, an overpass-underpass combination slows traffic to 25 miles per hour. This 30-year-old span does not meet the highway standards of today. Elimination of road hazards and modernization of old highways means safety, comfort, and convenience to the road user. It would be an impractical expenditure of highway tax money to modernize these old structures. Gas stations, restaurants, truck stops, city streets, and driveways restrict traffic. Through traffic with no desire to enter towns on US 30 is delayed by a through-town highway. A relocation to the edge of town would offer motorists a safe arterial highway and continue to provide the traveling public with convenient connections to the business district. In addition, it would be an asset to city officials in laying out the orderly growth and development of their towns. The recent improvements on US 30 in Ames were authorized after completing detailed studies of traffic movements and volumes. These studies showed that Ames has a higher volume of traffic, up to 18,500 vehicles on an average day, than any town or any other section of highway from Marshalltown to Ogden. Much of the traffic is generated in Ames. Even after removal of through traffic to a proposed relocation, local traffic would continue to be high enough to justify a four-lane facility. 4,500 Iowa State University employees, 700 Highway Commission personnel, university students, business people, plus their families, and area shoppers and workers travel the highway extensions inside Ames every day. It is important to note that these improvements will serve as connecting links to any future relocated route. A narrow two-lane highway through the University Business District is the only remaining bottleneck to the four-lane sections through Ames. Roadside parking, pedestrians, cross-traffic, and sidewalk shops restrict both through and local traffic. Between Ames and Boone, the motorist encounters an old 18-foot highway. A sharp curve at the junction of US 30 and Iowa 60 slows traffic to 40 miles per hour. East of Boone, the present highway passes under a narrow railroad grade separation, the Fort Dodge, Des Moines, and Southern line. The speed limit in Boone is 30 miles per hour. For a highway that met earlier requirements, it does not allow for the free-flowing travel of today. A proposed relocation south of Boone will require the use of present sections of US 30 and the improvement of a stub road from the south, which will serve as direct connecting links from Boone to the new highway. There are 8 school zone crossings on the present route of US 30 from Iowa 64 to Ogden. The highway engineer cannot ignore this danger to our young people when he studies the highway improvement problem on Iowa's most heavily traveled primary road. Sufficiency rating standards class this section of number 30 as critical. Municipal extension ratings place special emphasis on capacity and side friction from intersecting streets, driveways, and entrances. Stop signs, traffic lights, and school crossings are also considered in classifying a section of highway. All of the 5 towns from Iowa 64 to Ogden rank in the critical classification, varying from the lowest, 21 points through the campus town portion of Ames, to 47 points in Boone. Some trucks do not use the railroad underpass in Boone, but detour to the north over city streets. Restrictive features are a source of criticism of the entire Iowa highway system. Improvement of US 30 on its present alignment will require construction of a costly overpass. Parked cars intersecting traffic and pedestrians in the West Boone Shopping Center restrict traffic to 20 miles per hour. Hills and curves on the east slopes of the Des Moines River Valley prohibit safe passing movements. One of Iowa's most interesting and scenic river valleys is marked by an old-fashioned, narrow and winding highway. Traffic accident records for the past 5 years show there have been 212 accidents on this 9-mile section from Boone to Ogden. A highway employing up-to-date design and engineering standards would have reduced this figure by 3/4, avoiding much property damage, death, and crippling injury. Elimination of narrow bridges, narrow roadways and shoulders is another primary target of the highway engineer. He must allow his recommendations to be governed by the most benefit to millions of road users who travel Iowa's highways each year. Slow-moving or heavily loaded vehicles on a steep incline often bring traffic to a crawl. No passing zones on steep hills are a necessity, since sight distance is restricted to below normal safety conditions. Ogden is the last stop from east to west. Presence of commercial and residential developments along the roadside are similar to the towns previously shown. Ogden represents a true Main Street highway. US 30 passes directly through the main street with its curbs lined with stores, pedestrians, and parked cars. An occasional delivery truck narrows the roadway to one-way traffic. The junction of US 30 and US 169 is the end of the 55 miles from Iowa 64 to Ogden. US 30 west of Ogden has been improved in recent years to Carroll, and motorists are already enjoying this modern facility. The adequacy of a highway is often reflected in the number and purpose of regulatory and warning signs. Signs regulate and restrict free flow of traffic. Motorists may continue to use this road for years to come, but at a higher cost to each individual road user, at a higher maintenance cost, and at the risk of numerous traffic accidents. Compare the present US 30 with new sections of recently improved Iowa highways. An old overpass, as compared to a new structure designed for the future. Contrast the older type intersection with a channelized intersection dividing oncoming traffic into 4 lanes. An old railroad underpass as compared to a new structure. The Des Moines River Bridge on US 30 west of Boone could be as modern as a recently completed structure, also spanning the Des Moines River, on Iowa 60 south of Madrid. The Highway Commission must be an objective outsider while attempting to solve a critical highway problem. Success or failure of Iowa's highway program is before us now. To meet the needs of our expanding economy and population, we must face this challenge by providing our citizens with the best possible highway networks. With proper foresight, and modern engineering techniques, highways of today and tomorrow can be our best investment in the generations of the future.